Today we come together with a new vision for humanity to co-create a united Earth family. And with this vision and our shared intuition, we have the potential to bring peace on Earth to fruition. We imagine a world where we take care of all of life. And with this intention, we become beacons of light. So let's join together in manifestation to bring about societal transformation. From the heart of humanity, we come together in unity to co-create a united Earth family. From the heart of humanity, we come together in unity to co-create a united Earth family. From the heart of humanity, we come together to co-create. Let's come together, family. From the heart of humanity, we come together to co-create. Let's come together, family.
Welcome back to One by One and this third episode of the Unify special series Light Up the World, and today's topic of aligned action. My name is Michael Kraus. This podcast is dedicated to highlighting extraordinary people, organizations, and movements working to create a more just, compassionate, and peaceful world. Through stories of resilience, visionary ideas, and transformative action, we uncover the way people and communities are shaping the future founded in harmony, equity, peace, and global unity. And today I would like to introduce an extraordinary man with a clearly defined vision and purpose and a big heart. Adam Gaskill, joining us from Nebraska. Well, Adam is a legendary visionary, a global contribution marketing and communications strategist, a philanthropist, and internationally acclaimed thought leader, but most importantly, a man of love and contribution. Adam has over 2 decades of sales and marketing experience, is a gifted NLP master practitioner, has published over 45 authors, and created over 90 nonprofits. Adam dedicates his life to serving global communities through innovation, growth, and contribution. Adam is the founder of Innovate for Humanity and CEO-founder of the Nonprofit Creators. His effective world-class sales psychology and cause marketing strategies help individuals and organizations that want to grow and scale and understand the secret to life is giving. Welcome to the program, Adam Gaskill.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you so much, Michael, and thank you, Unify, for putting this together. And shout out to our predecessors for day 1 and day 2, Sarah McCrum and Daniel Raphael. Thank you so much.
And I can not just see your big heart behind you, but I can also feel your big heart. And so let's maybe dive right into the topic. And why do you think aligned action, specifically in this time of global transformation, is so important right now?
Yeah, I appreciate the question. We hear so many times, so many visionaries talk about profound missions and visions, but the true action, I truly believe in traction and momentum. I love progress into expansion, into enlightenment. If we don't meet that, we don't ground that vision into clear results and action, sometimes we just stay in our head. We could be mistaken movement for running in place. So I'd prefer to add value, meet people at where they're at, contribute, and take it to the next level. So I love with what we started with identifying abundance, truly tapping in externally and internally, and then activating that light within that we all have, and then taking that and shining it. But then here's where we meet the pavement. How do we do that inspired, joyful, efficient action that's truly integrated within you or your organization? And that gets me going.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, and so many times I hear people having great visions and great intentions, but to actually take it to the next step, to action and successful action, I think that is where a lot of it is failing right now. And so tell us and our audience a little bit about what is what is it that you do, and how do you assist organizations, people, to become more successful in what they do. And
Yeah, perfect. So this session is about aligned action into fulfillment, into your art of fulfillment for what moves you and what drives you. So this is going to be very, very key. So I own a couple companies. One's the Nonprofit Creator. So this is my art of fulfillment. We talk to people who have extraordinary gifts of callings that are deep inside them. Someone who wants to plant a billion trees, someone who's here to eradicate the atrocities of sex trafficking, to someone that literally didn't have food as a young child and they want to hand out turkeys once a year in their local community. Those callings give me shivers day in and day out. So my main purpose is to shine the light on people who are shining the light. But what I notice is a lot of people shelve their dreams, or as Tony Robbins says, the quote, a road of someday leads to the town of nowhere. Someday I'll get to it, to 3 months, 6 months, 2 years later, it's still sitting on the shelf. And I don't use hate lightly, but I hate that. So I said, if I can take the tyranny of how to do this off their plate so they can go to the mountaintop and share their mission and vision, now we're truly creating traction and momentum, and we're raising the collective consciousness of the planet. Now, Innovate for Humanity evolved from all of these beacons and these beautiful charities and inspired warriors of light, but I noticed they were siloed. So I saw it as light. So imagine someone that had a beautiful cause and they planted the flag of creation. Now, this light is beautiful. Now it becomes a board. Then there's a volunteer army. Then there's millions of donors. Now I said, times that by 100, 200, 300. Now you have this beautiful ripple effect of beautiful light that's spanning the globe. Now we're truly creating exponential impact. But I noticed when charities first start, sometimes they get stuck into the battle and tooth and nail over transactional donations and different things that occur that way. And they forget the contribution, the essence, the growth and connection, and radical collaboration. So I said, let's create a sacred container where we connect world game changers to serve humanity. And that heart behind me is our logo. So it starts with contribution, growth, and love and connection. Invert the hierarchical golden pyramid of that structure, invert it upside down and go internal. Multifaceted. We have all that we need is within us now. As my dear friend Pappy Denuza would say, you have all power of all time and all knowledge within you. You come from the perfect divine spark. And I just want you to remember who you really are. So that's a little bit about our organizations. And if it's okay, Mike, I'll share just a quick story to give a little background, and then I'd love to go into the four alignments. Is that okay?
that's perfect. That's why we invited you to come here and share your wisdom and your knowledge with us. So I'm grateful for you being here.
Amazing. So I won't go through my whole background, but 2020 was a very pivotal year. I was a licensed insurance agent, um, working in $1 billion firm, and my soul was yearning for more. I was suffocated by the conversations, and internally, I was just meant for something. Like, I don't know if you've ever had that feeling, or anyone that's watching or listening to this, you know that your purpose is bigger than your current circumstances. And then it starts tinging you like, do more, you're meant for more. Well, that's where I was. So I decided to burn my proverbial boats, per se, and quit. And I had uh, a quote from Zig Ziglar on my heart. I said, if I'm able to help more people reach their dreams and reach their goals, naturally I'll hit mine. So I surrendered. God, the universe opened up and brought me some incredible people. And literally, my subconscious question was, bring me the world game changers that are here to serve humanity, and I'll help them. And it happened. Dear, dear friends, extremely amazing souls for the greater good, geniuses. We got on stage with Tony Robbins for creating a charity and winning business mastery. And it was just so, so beautiful. And what I want to just touch on is a quote that really changed my life from Tony Robbins. And it really ties into aligned action. He says, in the moments of decision, your destiny was shaped. So let me say that again. In the moments of decision, your destiny is shaped. So studying neurolinguistic programming, or NLP, since the age of 17 and finding Tony Robbins at that age, he calls Dr. Richard Bandler, the founder of NLP, calls it thinking on purpose. And then, so if you think on purpose, you're asking questions internally. Is this true? Is this real? Am I familiar with this, and beyond? So I love that quote so much, because every single time you have a decision to make, to take action, to say yes, to say no, to be succumbed by fear and beyond. So just wanted to touch on that. And what happened when I surrendered to that, I kept hearing charity, nonprofit, pay it forward in the ether. And then when I finally had my aha moment and said, hey, if I'm able to use my sales and marketing skills all the way back from age 17 to help mission driven people and nonprofits get their mission out to the masses, I never have to work a day in my life again. And that was a full disalignment, that the purpose truly came and the action started following even more succinctly as well. So I want to throw it over to you, Michael, if you have any particular questions on that. Otherwise, we can jump into the 4 different alignments as well. Um, I can't hear you real quick. It's since not yet. If anyone can hear him, put a thumbs up, or can you guys hear me?
Oh,
There you go. I can hear you now.
you can hear me now. Something went wrong with my audio settings, but what you just said is also really aligned with Daniel Raphael's transmission. And he says, recognizing the divine orchestration which happens in every moment. And so when you talk about the decisions in the moment that are shaping our future, it is actually the connection to the divine, allowing us to move within the spirit of that and becoming successful. Might not be the right terminology for it, because it wouldn't give it justice, but being aligned in our purpose. And so I'll bring it back to you, Adam.
Yeah, beautiful. So what I want to talk about is the path of aligned action in regards to 4 different ways of alignment. So we're going to first start with internal, then we'll merge to spiritual, then we'll go to strategic and collective. So it all starts internal, as we are well aware of. So this is where the fulfillment begins. We start with ourself as well. And this is a combination, just wanted to share, of NLP mastery, some of our identity and our emotional language that we use to take it to the next level. So to simplify, because a lot of you might not have heard of NLP, or if you have, amazing. It's neuro-linguistic programming. So it's the study of the neuroscience, how our brain works efficiently and effectively to create patterns within us to technically take action. Now, the linguistics, the language, how does that connect to our neuroscience? And what are the language? What are the beliefs? What are the anchors? And what are the words that move us internally into programming? So this is our subconscious. So we all have heard that 95% of our brain and our actions are created by our subconscious, and 5% is our conscious. So if we connect neuroscience with proper language and systems and then program it correctly, you can start habitualizing what you want to do and take action easier. How I describe it in simple terms is, if I fire off a thought, a word, an action, a deed, something occurs here. So imagine that's a neurosynapsis. It creates a spark, and the spark's starting to go. Now it'll connect over here. Now, as many times as I fire this off, it will reach it if I consistently doing it. So just like a river flows, if I take a glass of water or a bucket of water and I pour it on the earth, naturally it will start spreading everywhere. But if I keep that steady pour, it'll create a groove and it'll start flowing. This is where the neurosynapses, habits, and things start building internally within you. So this starts forming your identity, your beliefs, and your values, which truly underlie everything that you're doing unconsciously normally. So you want to be proactively choosing your destiny and making and asking these right questions. One of the things that changed my life in this internal alignment was Tony Robbins teaches what's called the triad. It's actually a triangle based upon three things: focus, language and meaning, and physiology. Now, if you just took anything from this and just mastered this triad, it will change your life. So it's state management, how to put yourself in the best emotional state to be your best self. So anyone listening, you've probably been, say, if I had to put a number on it from 1 to 10, and if I said, hey, Michael, when you were your 10 out of 10 best self, what happened internally, externally? What did you hear, see, feel, and know? Your physiology, your body, your movements would be a certain way. Your language, how you speak to yourself, soft, kind, empowering, driven. You'd be talking to yourself that way. And what your focus, your clear attunement would be attuned to. So where focus goes, energy flows. So how I say it is if I put you in a dark room and I gave you a flashlight and you turn the flashlight on, this would illuminate where you're going. So that's your focus. So let's put the light on where we want to go, that clear map. The simple question of what do we want? Where's our clear outcome? What's that ideal result that we're after? Very, very important. Now, remembering physiology, a 2 millimeter shift can literally change the difference of your body. Many events across the world, Tony Robbins, Dr. Bandler, and others will do simple exercises when they'll say, close your eyes. I want you to imagine you in a depressed, unfulfilled, unhealthy state. What do you see? How does the person look? Naturally, across the whole world, it's the same. Shoulders slouched. How do they speak? Slow in cadence. Head down. Now, if we know that that's associated with every human on the planet naturally as a pattern, how about we do the opposite for what moves you? So take that 2 millimeter shift, tune in, put your shoulders back, smile, take it to the next level anytime. Move your body, interrupt the pattern, go do something else. Move the physiology, do an empowering state, fire off an anchor, something that drives you. Imagine, ask yourself an empowering question. Why do I know today will be so powerful? And then the language and meaning is so, so important. Um, this is a fun one that Tony uses at every one of his Unleash the Power Within events. He says, I want you to think about an event in your life where you weren't happy with yourself or how you showed up. What did you say to yourself? Normally it's like, oh man, I sucked. I didn't do so well. Then what he says is, I want you to now use that same statement, but I want you to criticize yourself in that same language with the voice of Mickey Mouse. So, oh no, why did I beat myself up? Right? For some reason, it's very hard to get criticized by Mickey Mouse instead of that. Now, what's wild about that is just a simple exercise in an understanding that the coding of your language, how you speak to yourself, and the past and prior anchors that are all around us that fire off these good and bad things are coming at us. So if we can take proactively our control of our system, our machine, our ability, this is where it takes it to the next level. So just always remember this internal alignment with where's your focus at? Change your physiology, put it in a beautiful state, and then use language and empowering meaning for it. And one final visualization example that I used many times while doing workshops and different things is um, I'll say this. I'll say, hey, Michael, I want you to imagine right now I have a chalkboard in front of me. Now, on this chalkboard, I'm going to write some letters, and I want you just to tell me what your internal feeling is when I write this. So, are you okay to play with me with this for a second, Michael? Okay, good, good, good. So on the chalkboard, I write LPRSI. Now, how do you feel?
LPRSI. Confused?
Yes, 100%, because none of those letters made any sense, and they were just randomly put on the chalkboard. Now, if I take my imaginary eraser here and I erase that chalkboard and I write something else, and I write LOVE. Now, what do you feel?
Um, I just want to find the right words for it. While I understand that it means that the word says love, I feel a purpose to what you had written onto this chalkboard. And
Yes,
so, which opens me up to something different.
100%. And what's so beautiful about that, every single person identifies it a little bit differently to their code, to their divine assignment, to how they define it. So words are technically anchors. So your exact blueprint and definition, just like our individual fingerprint, is very different. But there's a universal knowing that love, these certain words are beneficial, right? Or how do we activate more of those? So just an understanding of what these words are doing internally, biochemistry wise throughout our whole body is just very, very important. So I'm a nerd and I geek out on speaking to my food, praying upon it, speaking into it, my water every single time I drink. I say, I love you. I love you. Dr. Emoto's research and beyond. And it's just something that naturally is beautiful. So just to finish with this internal alignment piece, I just want to mention questions just one more time. Asking yourself empowering questions, or in NLP, it's called a presupposition. How do we presuppose something positive happening? Why do I know today is going to be so beneficial? Or how can I activate the full energy of love, light, and divine guidance that I know I have within me now? Or I like to use a morbid question sometimes to really create aligned action within me. If this was my last 60 days on earth, how would I choose to show up? That question right there is very interesting because now you activate appreciation, gratitude, and you can't play around. This is the last 60 days. So, how would you truly show up? Questions are the answer. So, our brain, imagine it as a keyboard or a computer. You type in a question, you hit enter on that keyboard. What's going to pop up on the screen is whatever you asked. It could be irrelevant, illogical, and beyond. So rather than putting in those questions that might not be the most empowering, or they might be disempowering, let's reverse that. Let's flip the script and put empowering questions more often than not for us. So, any questions, comments upon internal alignment, brother?
Not really. What
Okay.
there's a comment that I want to make, and my deep appreciation to the scientific approach to success, and that is what I'm hearing from you. We sometimes we dabble and we think in order to become successful we have to do X, Y, Z, and it's not really rooted and grounded in wisdom or in knowledge. And so what I'm hearing you, the experience that I have right now is you have figured out a scientific approach to moving forward. And for everybody that is listening, um, I would highly recommend to be open to that possibility, to be open to that outcome, to be open to the information and the wisdom and the knowledge that comes through you, to actually recognize what is happening here right now.
Beautiful. Thank you for that invocation as well. That's always a beautiful thing for any time you're listening or learning. We want to interrupt our patterns of I know or I've heard this before, or sometimes if it becomes unfamiliar, we go into a scotoma or a paralysis and we start creating separation. So I challenge and invite everyone that's listening to this, watching it on YouTube, or the 2.6 million followers on the Facebook group, is interrupt that pattern. Do what it needs to be to activate your full presence, your learning, you're listening. Bring your higher self into this moment and take as much as you can. And I'm here to serve and add value, and that's why I'm here. So thank you for that, Michael.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Well, let's merge into spiritual alignment, one of the fun ones here as well. So this is my moment of truth in 2020 when I surrendered and I said, how can I best serve? And that was one of my internal divine compass questions into my calling of the purpose of my life is to be loving, enjoy serving humanity, and to create a magical life for myself and others. So I know we have people all across the world. So whatever your belief system is, source, creator, God, what that name is for you, beautiful. There's a divine spark in each and every one of us, and I appreciate it, and I love it, and I am here to awaken it, be a witness to it, and steward the light. Some people go into gene keys and human design and different things. If you speak that language, I'm what's called a manifesting fire starter. So what I love to do is I love to create the flame, create the spark, fan the flame, feel the flame, love it, keep moving on, but also take my own flame and be a guide as we walk along. Now, spiritual alignment as well, one of the things that opened my eyes massively to this is a dear friend and a brother, Pappy Denuso. If you haven't seen or heard what he's doing for the planet, his main mission on Earth is to help awaken to the 97% of the population of the planet, our fellow brothers and sisters who are living off of $3 a day. Now, he focuses on women and women, children of color, but he goes across the world and teaches people how to 10x your health, wealth, finances, spirituality, and happiness with a track record I've never seen before. So he merges being a billionaire wealth fund manager to we're here to serve and we're all fellow brothers and sisters. And he sits at 100% neutral and for 100% spiritual. So no politics, no religion, just full certainty and belief in you. And what changed my life after starting to really deep dive in the last 6 months into this is these universal laws, these rules to the game of pure creation and manifestation. So I recommend, I can't go deeply into this because of time, but there is some very precious um, laws of resonance, law of attraction that we probably heard of from The Secret and Beyond, and so many other ones that are really we're manifesting everything in our life right now. And what he touches on is joyful, inspired, efficient action. Joyful, inspired, efficient action, which I absolutely love. Being in joy, lighting yourself up, putting yourself at a frequency of love and above, joy, one of those higher frequencies on the Hawkins scale, right? Outstanding. Inspired, what lights you up inside? So after we've touched abundance, we moved into activation. Now let's activate it. Let's take the action and be inspired while we do it. Any given moment, we can choose to make this fun. We can put pressures on us of we have to do this, or we can turn it by one shift of we get to do this. We have to, do we get to is an instant gratitude shift. So write that down. Remember that anytime you're starting to weigh yourself down with all these to-dos or these this, we get to. There you go. Michael's got it. Beautiful.
Well,
Also,
what I want to speak into is the amplification of the joyfulness within aligned action. Because once you recognize the joyfulness of the action actually will come back to you, which will then generate more joy because you recognize the connection to the to whatever name you want to put towards it. And those moments of synchronicity, when you really dive into it are just a burst of joy, at least to me in my life. And then you start to wonder, how is this all connected? And within that is even more joy once you start to recognize that it is all, we're all one.
Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. Love it. And one of the things for spiritual alignment as well is just the power of listening and stillness. In a lot of noise in the world, whether it's going outside, putting a favorite song or a track on, inserting a meditation, or just deeply sitting in silence just for a few minutes, let the wisdom that's all around us be heard and be felt. Truly align in and remember who you are. This is so, so precious. There are helpers, there are divine allies that's all around us and all within us as well, that all we have to do is ask, call upon, invoke, invite, and they are here as well to help steward this into beautiful action. Um, Recently, I went through a 28-day manifesting accelerator course with Pappy, and one of his days is aligning your your army of stewards, your army of light, and army in the aspect of your divine allies, ancestors, and giving names and calling upon who's within you, past and present, as well. And it's just so profound when you're able to align with that and know that we're not alone as well. So that's this is spiritual alignment of following that golden thread, as our dear brother Michael shares along with Peter and many of our other fellow friends. Follow those breadcrumbs. They're around us. Keep tuning in and lead to that joy and that inspiration and see what happens from there. So I want to move to one of my favorites, and this is strategic alignment. So internal, spiritual, now strategic. So I love strategy. I love traction, momentum. How do we really identify the light in others? And how do we create a strategy that works for others? So we love to do at Innovate for Humanity is we believe in what's called a quad win stack. You win, who you're serving wins, humanity wins, and then we'll win. And then we add one extra layer up on top of it is how can we become a prayer answer for the other person or the other organization? If you truly deeply care about the other person and really identify what makes them win, make what makes who they're serving wins, and as a service of those two, humanity has to win because we have to take care of the greater good of the whole, naturally will win. This is a paradigm shift in many different natures where sometimes we get stuck into that tyranny of how or lack and scarcity. I don't know it all. When we can identify and find the who as well. But every one of you out there has a particular zone or zones of genius that you're extremely well better than I am and your others, and you know what lights you up internally. So once you truly identify that passion, that purpose inside you, very, very beneficial. And then it becomes a strategy. How do we connect and integrate and take it to the next level? So at Innovate for Humanity, we focus on 5 pillars. We talk about innovation, marketing, sales, integration, and psychology. And we'll spotlight someone while still focusing on contribution, growth, love, and connection. And how do we focus upon all those 5 pillars and truly create something that's going to take it to the next level? Now, one of the systems that I want you guys to write down or remember, or even look into this further, that changed my life was the system of time of your life, or what's called the RPM system. Now, I am a compilation of wisdom and I stand on the shoulders of giants, and a lot of this stuff isn't particularly mine. I flex on it, I integrate it, and I've created my own different things. But when I love modeling success, success leaves clues. If I don't need to reinvent the wheel myself and someone's put in hundreds of thousands of hours or hundreds of years of wisdom, I think that's probably a smart call to follow those steps, right? So what RPM stands for is result focused, purpose driven, massive action plan. So result focus, purpose driven, massive action plans or maps. So what this is that bullseye. What is that ideal outcome? What is the exact result that you're after? A lot of people don't have the shared identity or purpose or the clarity of what they're after when it comes to the action. Sometimes people stay into a sense of vagueness, and it actually doesn't allow our brain, our resources, and our resourcefulness to truly come out when we don't ask that empowering question or have a clear want or goal. So I've heard many people say, I want more money, right? And I've been at Tony Robbins events, and he'll reach into his pocket and he'll give a guy $1. And he's like, congratulations, you got everything you wanted. Are you happy? Are you fulfilled? And they're like, no. I'm like, well, oh, very interesting. What do you truly want? Let's get that clear result and the goal. Now, we get our outcomes, not our goals. Goals are helping us achieve progress and momentum, and a to-do versus an outcome. I just want you to feel into this, Michael, as well. If personally I asked you to close your eyes and I say, Michael, I want you to think about everything you have to do, and personal, professional, business, all those to-dos. Write them down in your head. Yep, yep. Okay. Now, if I asked Michael how does he feel on that, normally with all the to-dos, people's physiology start changing. They start getting condensed and like, oh, and then instantly it's not the best feeling. But if I think of your ideal outcome, what do you truly want? And what is that? And how does that look, feel? How do you see it? How do you hear it? It's a big difference. So first, let's paint the bullseye with our purpose and our outcome. Okay. Now, instead of just identifying it, we must have purpose. We must have a fuel. We must have juice. We must have a why to pull us through, because we're going to get hit in the face. It's not going to always be easy. I'm not ignorant to that, but we must have resilience, and our why and our purpose pulls us into it instead of pushing. So many people nowadays are getting burnt out because they're running on so fast cylinders and they're forgetting the essence of the why that can truly pull you in. If sometimes we're stuck in that loop or just massive action, and sometimes we're not creating the results, we're asking why, and a disempowering question comes up, let's move to the purpose. What is your why? What is that purpose of why you're doing the action? So after you identify that, create juicy language on it, then our map, our massive action plan. So brain dump, write out all of those things that you must do. And I said must. Okay, keyword must do. So once you create your map, what's going to happen normally, actually all the time, is patterns are going to emerge. And this is in NLP called the principle of chunking. So you chunk different groups together on what is similar in nature. So if I'm doing some business, some of it might be in marketing, some of it might be sales, or if it's my physical nature, some of it might be nutrition, might be going to the gym, something of that sort. But not only we create our map, what we do then is we use the Pareto principle on top of it. So if you've heard of that, is 20% of your actions will lead to 80% of your results. So you don't need to do all of your to-dos and all the massive action plans. We must prioritize and choose what's going to really move the needle towards our goals. What is those top 3 priorities, or the 3 to 6 most important experiences that are really going to get you to that bullseye and that goal? So again, you got your goal, your map, you got your why, and then you have that massive action plan. Now we take it one step further and we time block it. We schedule it in and we make it real. We put a duration on it. Now this is a key thing that sometimes we forget to do. We feel very excited. We're happy. We got a map. We got a goal, bullseye. We got our why. And then we celebrate. Hey, you're further along than a lot of people. Amazing. But we must create the traction. We must schedule it in. We must put the time in. We must create that inspired, joyful, efficient action and go do it. So I always recommend is put a little bit more time on those activities or that map than you think, because sometimes it gets a little tough to get into the groove to start. And we're just trying to create traction at the start. We must be gentle, we must be flexible, forgiving, and we must have fun while we're doing so. Very, very important. 3 F's: flexibility, forgiveness, and fun while we're doing that. Now, this is the RPM system that changed my life. We'll go into organizations, workshops, individuals, and we'll just identify what is that clear want, what's the why. We'll build a map, and then we'll identify what's going to get you to that goal as well. Now, then we also do what's called leveraging. Who in our ecosystem or who can we reach out to that's going to help us do this, so we're not just alone, so we can truly move into what we'll be talking about next is collective alignment. So clarity, action into fulfillment, Pareto principle, and the RPM system. Tony Robbins has the amazing system that he's been doing for many years. I've done it over 4 or 5 times, and it literally changes my life. Every time I do it, I earn back time. But if we can just remember that clear, result focused, purpose driven, massive action plan, and we're truly moving the needle towards where we want to go, this can create aligned action at its finest. Over to you, Michael.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I'm just, what you said, one of the things that came into my mind is how long had I been waiting to create this podcast? And I think I first talked about it a year ago. And I talked about it 10 months ago and 8 months ago and 6 months ago. And then finally I said, no, I'm going to do it. And so, and it came with a plan. It came with a timeline. It came with but also purpose driven, and I feel once you dive into this purpose driven work, it actually there is no work doesn't exist, because it's a work has kind of a negative energy, I feel, attached to it, and many of us feel that work is something that you have to do, and I feel no, work is something that I want to do because it's aligned to my purpose, and I want to do it, and I have joy doing it, and I learned so much, and now I'm actually doing it, and then I'm feeling like you talked about pouring the water onto the soil. The more often I do it, the better it gets. The more comfortable I become, and then I can see my trajectory going forward, and really, what is the outcome? What is the desired outcome that I want to achieve with that? And to me, it's not being a talking head or another talking head, but to me, it's about highlighting organizations, individuals that offer solutions, and to me, you're one of those people that offer specific solutions with a scientific approach. There's a methodology to it. If you follow that methodology, you are going to get the outcome. There is just no question about it. And
Right.
and how often do we fall back into comparing what we think we know to that which is presented right now, and making all kinds of excuses as to why we shouldn't do what we just heard. And it's a fascinating subject, and we're all guilty of it. We're all, and we're here to learn, to transform, and like you said early on, we're standing on the shoulders of those who came before us, those who held the wisdom, and we don't have to spend, each and one of us, $100,000 on acquiring the wisdom that somebody already did. Those who came before us helped us to expand. Those who came before us helped us to shape our future, and within that is also a certain responsibility for each and one of us to actually contribute to that, not just to let it sit there without purpose, but to actually pick up pieces of all of those purposes and then make it our own and bring it forward. And that's what I feel you are proposing, and not just proposing, but that's where you're taking action.
Absolutely beautiful. So much wisdom in what you just shared as well. Just a couple quick things we have to identify for all our listeners and people who are going to watch the replay on this. Remember, it's not always going to be perfect. We must take imperfect action. One of the quotes or statements that changed my life was 80% is perfect, take action, and move forward, fail forward. It's not always going to have the perfect circumstances and conditions in order for that. But momentum, traction, habits, rituals, patterns will create once we start moving. And there's going to be stuff that sometimes we're not going to want to do it. That's a part of it. And that's when we have to find the resilience. We focus on our purpose. We also focus on that goal, and we choose aligned action over sitting, stagnating, not choosing to move, and wishing rather than creating as well. And one of the things you mentioned too, I've always heard a comparison sometimes is the thief of joy as well. When we compare ourselves to others, how many people know how much work, how much knowledge, how much wisdom, Michael, have you been through in your entire life, what you've seen, heard, and known? And if I compared that to you on certain things, it would be unfair to myself. I have not been through what you've been through on this planet. That's not sometimes an unhealthy way. So just make sure that we're paying homage, we're appreciating, but it's not a detriment to our action. We're saying we can't do it because they're better than me and so forth. So a couple of these psychological triggers and some of the limiting beliefs sometimes pop up there. All we have to be is one chapter ahead of our audience as well. Continue to grow, continue to serve, add massive value, take that action and get clear on our goals. And like you said, this is not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when, if we consistently stay focused on that as well. So I want to.
Yeah, and if we see each other as part of the whole, as part of the puzzle, and there isn't a single person on the planet that I haven't been able to learn from, and so
Yes.
while like you said, we sometimes put ourselves down. It is there is no we each and one of us has something to contribute to others and our communities and the whole. And if we can hold that into our hearts, then, or within our hearts, then we're going to see each other in a different light as well, with
Amen.
more reverence, higher respect, love, connection. Sorry, I
Beautiful.
didn't mean to interrupt you.
Hey, we're in flow. All good. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So just moving into the last one of alignment. So we went through internal, spiritual, strategic, now just collective alignment. So movements, numericals, right? So what is this for us, for what we do, etc. So we believe in sacred communities, triads of bringing and bridging worlds that sometimes people don't have a chance to experience as well. So Innovate for Humanity had that sole purpose of connecting world game changers to serve humanity. Literally, how do we bring a billionaire and billionaires also with struggling charities? How do we bring super philanthropists and struggling business owners and meet in the middle and focus on the spiritual needs of contribution, growth, love, and connection with this innovation, marketing, sales, integration, and psychology? How do we cultivate that? So when I was running a masterminds for a couple of years for the inner circle, some of the members of Tony Robbins and beyond, is I noticed once we cultivated that sacred space and that community of the collective, and we all opened up with the shared purpose of adding value, listening, giving the microphone, spotlighting individuals, but knowing we don't know it all. I am a constant and never ending improvement listener and learner. So if someone's um, studied and done, has a track record that amazing success and beyond in all these levels, I'm going to listen. I'm constantly taking notes. But what's fun about this and the Innovate for Humanity is put those pieces together, feel it, show up, and then learn, fail forward as a collective inside of it. Radical collaboration, as we well know of, is such a key factor in this. And so collective alignment, shared purpose, shared identity. How do we connect within the communities, but how do we connect for the greater good of the whole as well? So I have certain statements, certain affirmations, intentions that I come with and I activate within me so I can open up and listen and embody and activate myself for the greater good of service. And certain things like this is so powerful. And there's so many different communities out there as well that are um, they're at your fingertips if you just search them as well. And we'd love for you to be a part of ours and or a part of Unify and what they've done amongst universal harmony, life, and consciousness for the planet for the last 13 years. Outstanding, incredible, incredible work. Now, our collective alignment as well as what we do with the nonprofit creators also. So bringing existing charities and putting them together within books and other ways so they can utilize cause marketing. And cause marketing it's not a common term, so I just want to identify it and define it. Excuse me, for people. So cause marketing is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and if I explain it like this to you, normally you understand because it's all around us, but sometimes we don't see it if you don't hear what it is. So let's say I own a puppy rescue, okay, and I donate 50% of all my proceeds to that puppy rescue. And naturally, Michael, you love puppies. I know Cedar, beautiful, beautiful dog ears. And if I donate 50% of all my proceeds to that business, that charity, naturally you want to do business with me. Now, why is that? Social proof, reciprocity, and familiarity is all translated through the cause. Okay. So, as a charity with the nonprofit creators, how do we align other businesses that share the ethos, that share the culture, share the core values, and give them ways to participate in contribution? All businesses at the end of the year have taxable write offs and contribution limits that some of them, most of them, don't meet. I personally believe that rather than Uncle Sam and the government and taxes versus a charity and the good that they're doing, Uncle Sam has had enough. Give to the charities, but also create sustainable models where businesses can literally fuel the lifeblood of your organization and charity. That is collective alignment because what you're doing is the greater good. Your impact gives them visibility, helps them revigorate culture. They stand out beyond transaction in a very competitive, saturated business world and corporations as well. And it gives them the benefits of the taxes and beyond um, as well. So that alignment is how can we create something, add massive value, share the inspiration and appreciation within our charity to places that are looking for this, that they could be, you could be your puppy rescue for them, per se, as well. So, love to speak more about that at a later time. Just reach out to me on with the nonprofit creators and what we do from existing charities. We help take um, overwhelm off their plates, whether it's sales, marketing, innovation, structures, create alignment internally so they can go shine their light. Because again, find your zone of genius, find your light, and let's align and create a collective around it so you can help more people and do more good and make more money at simultaneously as well. So, Michael, let's move into just you want to share a couple like testimonials in regards to alignment and action, or where would you like me to go?
Yes, let's do that. And I'm just going to bring you on. And if also I'd wanted to mention if somebody within the Zoom room has any comments, please put them into the chat, or if there is any questions, raise your hand and we can bring you into the live broadcast. It might take a few seconds for us to find you in and bring your camera feed in, but we just wanted to potentially open it up for later. And but please go ahead with your testimonials, Adam.
Yeah, so again, what we're doing here is we're bridging inspiration and implementation, and this is very, very important. Where do we create the traction? Where does it meet the ground? Right? You've done the inner work. You felt the calling. Let's build the bridge to service. Right? How can we help more people do more good for the greater good of the whole? How can we add massive value as well? So with Innovate for Humanity and the Nonprofit Creators, it's bridging worlds together, connecting with service to others, and also identifying those deep callings within. So we've worked with a lot of serial entrepreneurs that are already giving. They have donation funds, they have amazing causes or callings, but sometimes they're stuck in the tyranny of how. They're listening to an old belief system or a myth about creation in the nonprofit space, which holds them up. So, example, Scott, a friend of ours, inner circle with Tony. And thanks, John. Appreciate you being here, brother. Um, Scott has three causes that are dear to his heart: horses, humans, and hounds. He comes to us. We said, "Hey, Scott, I don't want you to change anything you're doing. You're already giving to amazing charities and causes. Let's create a charity, a 501c3, a charity that gives to those exact same places." Now, first off, you create now a tax shelter. You're double, triple, quadrupling your impact, while you can also secure hundreds of thousands of dollars per year in free grants to amplify your impact to do more good, while you're only spending an hour, 2 hours a week. So he has a dear quote that's on his heart and his mind. And the favorite quote is from Tony Robbins. He says, "The secret of living is giving." So his charity was named Live to Give Charity. Not specific in nature, because this is broad. Everyone's evolving. So you don't have to just pick one deep cause or calling that's inside. If you have multiple ones, great. We can create a system, an umbrella, a vehicle that feeds and helps strategically align into action for each one of those. So he raises money through that charity, and it feeds those existing charities. So horses, one of them was a Believe Ranch Rescue up in Colorado, incredible charity. Another one was To the Rescue for autism and service animals. And then the human component, he loves veterans. He wants to save the heroes who saved us. So he donates and shifts which charities feel best over there. So that's an example of someone that has many causes, doesn't know how, comes into our ecosystem. We take the how off their plate and literally launch a lasting legacy side by side that you can not spend as much time as you desire, or you absolutely can and you get to as well. So that's a fun one where someone comes to us knowing they have a mission, and we become their guides to making it simple and easy. And what's so cool about that one is we went through the 14-day Manifest Your Dreams formula. Within 5 days, he's at an event, raised, I think, $220,000 in 5 days, and cut checks to those organizations. Now, without that designation, tax shelter, and beyond, it wouldn't have been possible for that, because it allowed people to give and also get in return to help them organizations. Now, another one that I like to share is organizations that want to create a philanthropic arm. So, so beautiful. And appreciate you, Ricky. Thank you so much. Um, so I believe in a working ecosystem for the greater good. So how can we create a philanthropic arm that works in tandem with your for-profit business? So this is where that cause marketing, where profit and purpose can come together and merge in the middle. If you really identify the calling, integrity-based human influence, tap into something that's really moving to you, and create something that's seamlessly attached to the greater good of the whole, this can advance your business enterprise value and help more good and really revigorate that culture within. And this is so, so fun. So we had a lady who had an amazing real estate background in brokerage, about 88 agents. What was cool about her is she had causes. One was to defeat cancer. So she beat it. She wanted to, she loved veterans, and also she wanted to include realtor safety because it was very dear to her. And some things were happening that was unfortunate for her realtors as they were out in the field. So her company, we created an underlay. It was Haven Hope and Haven Realty at the time. So we created Haven Hope. They went out, they gathered data from their local community, they focused on veterans, gathered survey, gathered data, and then they came back and they raised money and solved those problems, and those they granted wishes for their local community. Now, from a creation perspective and positive stewardship, this is where it's fun. Literally, imagine you or your organization going out and asking people one question: how can I best serve? What do you need? What would help you? Okay, write it down, gather the data, do a fundraiser, Partner with a charity, partner with one, and or create your own, raise that money and then go gift it. Look at the appreciation. Look at the people's lives. Look at the veteran that didn't have food to eat to give to his family because of inflation, or didn't have mobility because his engine blew up on the car and they're able to fix it. And so many different stories that could literally create grace, love and above, and just so much joy in your life and your organizations by doing more good instead of just focusing on the profit. What happens when you do that is something very special. It literally tunes in internally that now this is fulfillment. This isn't just action, repetitive burnout feelings. Do more good, help more people, serve, add value, create that quad win stack. They win, who they're serving wins, humanity wins, and then you'll win at the end as well. And I know we have quite a few others, but maybe, what do you think, Michael? Should I mention Aiden's with the world's greatest experiment because that's such a powerful one?
That's a super, super powerful one. Yeah.
Beautiful. So, final two that I'll share. Now, Aiden, a dear brother, imagine a gentleman impoverished. At a young age, he sees a globe and he surrenders and he says, I'm going to spin the globe, and wherever I put my finger on, I'm going to go. Spins the globe, puts his finger on it, and it ends up in the Philippines. Now, I'm paraphrasing this story, so Aiden, if you're watching this later, I apologize, brother, but I'm pretty sure this is almost 100% accurate here. He goes to the Philippines, affluent family picks him up. Years pass. He asks the father, how can I return the favor, the grace, the love that you shared with me over these years? His father says, just share love with one individual. Go help another soul. Just one? Aiden says. He says, yes. Long story short, that ripple effect, changing one person's life, being grace, appreciation, contributing to one, affects so many more, one by one, right, Michael? So, what he's created is what's called the world's greatest experiment. He goes to impoverished countries and teaches the poor to send love, pray, and meditate in an experimental fashion. So, imagine I wake up 24 hours, like imagine I sent you love, Michael, and anyone listening on this call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. What would happen? How many instant miracles could occur, right? We can get into the quantum physics, the entanglement, the greater good of the whole, vibration, energy, and I'd love to at another time, but we know what could truly happen. So what's beautiful is he's launched these things called love farms, one in the Philippines, one in Pakistan, and one in Sierra Leone, Africa. If you see the stories of these kids in school that wake up, pray, meditate, an hour and a half, they go into a state of love and they're sending it to individuals, to businesses, and they're putting themselves at such a frequency. And then now they can eat, they can go to the market, they have a school. Their family now can put them into a school so they can go and do work and beyond. This is a ripple effect of love. I believe this could seriously be a Nobel Peace Prize for love and creating love as a currency for the greater good. And so, if anyone knows Aiden or the world's greatest experiment, take a look at what they're doing. And again, this is just a divine calling that we aligned. I listened to his deep care and I said, this is a must. How can I steward? How can we co create the name? How can we go out and do more good and let people contribute in a vehicle that helps them? Now it's spreading like wildfire in good ways. We're getting testimonials for businesses that are getting love sent to them that said, I haven't had any other change except we had your love farms and people sending love. I'm like, this is outstanding. So shout out to Aiden. Amazing, amazing, amazing.
Shout out to Aiden, and that's really where the title for this podcast, One by One, was inspired from. Is if we can just reach out to one person on a daily basis and inspire that person to also reach out to another person on a daily basis, we can change our planet within a month. And it's not it's not that difficult. And love is the universal language, together with music. And so what can we do to inspire each other to really reach out to our neighbors, reach out to the people that might have hurt us, reach out to the people that we might have hurt and ask them for forgiveness, and really connect with them, and seed a planetary vibration and frequency of love. And we all know what that, or we all know what that feels like. Some of us might not have had the experience, and that's extremely unfortunate. Um, but we know how good it feels to share love, to receive love, and to exchange it. And if we can practice that on a daily basis, and become aware of our interactions on a daily basis, and in every moment, with not just ourselves, but with the environment, with other people, on the counter at the supermarket, or in the coffee shop, or in a retail store, and really practice deeper connection, and take the moment, and take the time to practice it. I think we can change our planet, one by one, within 30 days.
Beautiful. I agree, absolutely. 100%. So, um, I guess before you want to ask a few questions, I just want to give someone some pass that if anyone was inspired or appreciated what we went through, this is just the tip of the iceberg in it. I love custom solutions for individuals, organizations, and collectives. If I don't know how to help, we know some organizations that do. And we love alignment. And it's literally whether it's a referral system or being in our Innovate for Humanity community, or being with us in the nonprofit creator journey and creating a lasting legacy. It's an honor. So there's what Michael's going to share, I believe, is a QR code. So if you want to connect, here's 4 sacred paths that we are serving immediately on. Is, start a nonprofit, identify what that calling is, come speak to us. If you have a deep cause or a calling that's dear to your heart, we'd love to steward it. We'd love to guide you along with it. We call it our 14-day manifest your dreams formula. Within 14 days, you can start taking donations and give donation receipts. We've done them all across the world. We focus on them as 501c3s within the US, and we also do international giving and services as well within it. Now, if you already have a charity or an organization that you absolutely love, but you want to amplify it or grow it, perfect. We can focus on innovation, vertical integration, some marketing, deep funnel architecture, structures. Um, we can focus on sustainable models, relational fundraising. We can create cause marketing strategies that specifically tailor towards you. So if you have that charity that you love, or wants to speak to us, we'd be honored to do it. Now, the third path, if you want to partner with us, if you want to align with us for these greater good missions, how can we connect world game changers to serve humanity in an ethical, beautiful way while we're focusing on growth, contribution, and love? Love to speak to you. How our audiences can serve yours, how we can bring into yours, you can bring into ours, etc. Any amazing gifted souls that are resonant or love to add value and give from their heart first, we'd love to speak to you. And then the fourth path is I want to connect profit with purpose. So if you're a business owner, you're an organization, a corporation, an individual, and you truly want to merge these two worlds, you want to make more money and have more impact, so you're fulfilled, your art of fulfillment, your profit, your purpose, and your passion are all attuned in. That is my specialty, and that's my mission as well. So this is the map. Wherever you'd like to start, we'd love to honor where you are on this journey. So love to reach out as well. We also do have a free Innovate for Humanity community that I can share later as well. Just please send me a message at Adam at the Nonprofit Creators, or just click that link and fill your information out. And we'd love to invite you there as well.
I will blend in the code again, where people can get a hold of you. And my microphone will be muted at that time, so if you can speak a few more words over it, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so again, for everyone, before we merge into just a few final questions and answers, thank you for everything that you're doing. Even if I don't know you, I appreciate your heart, your soul. I love you, and I'm with you. I'm honored to serve. And the purpose again of my life is to be loving, enjoy serving humanity, and to create a magical life for myself and others. And I really deeply care about what you're doing for the greater good of the whole. If you're a world game changer, aspiring change maker, a person that has a deep calling in essence, but needed the who or the how, we can connect you with it, and we're honored. And we make this available with grace and ease for anyone. So let's activate our light, remember who we truly are, serve our way up, and take it to the next level. We already experienced abundance. We've activated. Now let's take action and be called into contribution and do it beyond just ourselves.
Beautiful. And I hope that everybody is and was able to recognize what I had mentioned in the introduction when I first introduced you, Adam, and a man with an extraordinary vision and extraordinary purpose and with a big heart. And so that's how I see you. That's what I feel from you. I feel your authenticity, your sincerity, but also the knowledge that is needed to help organizations and business owners and individuals to move forward. And I believe one of the greatest opportunities, or our greatest responsibility, but also opportunity, is for collaboration. And I believe that is what is being asked of us right now. And how can we step out of the ego? How can we step out of our silos and come together to create the greatest impact that is so much needed around the world? And was there anything else you'd wanted to share, Adam?
No, I'm very content. I appreciate it. I'm very grateful for Unify, for you, Michael, for your blessings and honor in making this happen as well and following your dreams. To take it off the shelf and take it to the next level, so important and beautiful. Let's literally light up the world and choose light within. When I call on the light within, I go home. So that's where I'm at. Thank you. And thank you, Van.
That was that was beautifully said, and I also wanted to express my gratitude to you and to our listeners and the people watching our unified community. Thank you for your time and for your presence for the last hour and 15 minutes. And God bless all of us on this journey, on this one journey that we're all together. Until next time.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.